Hey, Kakazi. Watto and welcome, friend. Coming in. I'm feeling better. Like, worlds better in terms of, like, pain and stuff. I want to see if I'm up for the and Fearless. There we go. Putting you in the ranks. Does anyone remember who got yesterday's one? Yeah, just missed it. Before you say anything, it's not your camera. My face is still lopsided. But I can talk. I'm not like full Watto and welcome. But I'm here. And honestly, I'd like to hang out with you all. Alright, Alnus, you got yesterday? I'm going to trust you. Hey, look. 1, it's good to be back. 2, it's great to know you'll have my back. I've been a little bit foggy today, so I think some sitting and some nattering with you lot is probably that's probably just what I feel like. Wolfcrad, there's parts of the stream yesterday I don't remember. Like, apparently I got up to pee and came back and passed out. Like, I was gone. I'm not gonna give you any details about my experiences. I got one. Oh, okay, I have 2 stories I have to tell you because they're very funny. You saw a little bit Froggy play live once. Yeah. Damn it, you said Foggy. Oh shit, Fearless, yeah. What can I say that only the real Will would say? Sharks are bad. Oh, anyone can know that. I still like calling it the Mad Cat, even though I know it's a Timberwolf. That's fair. Fucking shark fact already. Alright. And Aeon, I do. And I have stories and banter. It'll be lower energy than you're used to, but we've almost finished Shark Habits of the World. The great hammerhead shark hangs out in shallow waters along the eastern, western, and northern coasts of Australia. Not strictly true, as we know that the hammerhead shark goes deep into the sea. Well, so Kakazi, yeah. On the subject of that very phobia, do you remember the most Scottish game? Okay, one of the most Scottish games, Still Wakes the Deep. Pertaining to one of the greatest lines in video games. Jesus loves you, Kaz. Everyone else thinks you're a cunt. So the DLC for that has dropped today, and you literally play a tech diver investigating the wreck. That's the DLC. And here's the thing, I know I've got to play it. No one's making me. I haven't gotten like a bunch of messages being like, oh, well, you're gonna have to do this. I just know, right? Like, I don't know a better way to describe it, but art has a weight. These things have a momentum to them. Oh, fuck off. Alnus with the DLC. Yeah, Wolfcrad, that was the tell. That was the tell. So yeah, sorry, I'm going to be a little slow this afternoon, but I missed you all and I wanted to hang out, you know? So that's what we're doing. We're just nattering, we're catching up. I might ink some more pieces of the Gundam ahead of Saturday, but like I said, hey Damien, I'm still a bit wonky faced from the anesthetics yesterday, and I'm not going to go into any like gory details. Though it does make me laugh that at one point my brain went, huh, this is how my Gundams feel. That did make me laugh. Okay. I got two stories, neither of which are anything graphic or dentistry-like. The first one was nearly you. You think, little fire? I don't know. It was getting a bit in the way yesterday, so I decided to trim it back. What do you think? And what and welcome all. Oh yeah, so Fearless, you already did Still Wakes the Deep with your Da, didn't you? So you will be doing the DLC. I'm not going to do that today because I don't know how screaming is going to affect my face. But Antivershi, what an unwelcome friend. Cheers to you yet again, and how are you doing? I should let the rest know. Oh shit! Vershi was just saying that Hades 2 got a big update, so they're onto that one. Fuck yeah. Fearless, I saw. That's going to be way cool. I don't know if there's a non-creepy way to say the Longship sends their regards, but like online. In a good way.
Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Have you tried not screaming? Lol, less than 3. Hope you're doing okay, buddy.
You know what, Scotty? I am. Like, again, I'm not going to tell you any gory details. I'm not going to give you any kind of, like, nightmare fuel. But after everything that went down yesterday, and I'm still a little groggy, but I can sit and I can talk and I can nat with you lot. That insane amount of pain that I was managing over the weekend has dissipated. Like, my face is a bit lopsided, and my like, there was a little bit of pressure last night, but that's all kind of gone. Like, I'm sad that I wasn't able to have everything done in one day, but I'm not in hellish agony, so I'm going to take that as a win. But the two stories I need to tell you. So, when we went in to go, like, to have them check it out, everything was lovely, everything was fine. Though what was very funny was we went in one door and it was like, oh, sorry, the actual entrance is this way. And we walked past what looked like if the house from Up was in Resident Evil 7. Like, it was surrounded by buildings, it was cordoned off, boarded up. Like the old man from Up had just snapped and is in a rocking chair in the back eating people. To which I looked it up and down and went, I don't think I like this dentist. I was, hands down, the funniest person at the dentist. Was I using humor as a coping mechanism? Abso-fucking-lutely. But I was hilarious. I asked the person in reception if I slipped him a 20, if I could get on the good zombie program, you know, the one where you get the bone saw and like the whole Titan program. She said she could see what she said she'd see what she could do, but you'll notice no bone saw. You know what, Vershi, in terms of coping mechanism, I don't think it mattered. But yeah, so the weird thing was, I got my little checkup, they took me x-rays, had a look, and then I'm waiting for the dentist to come back, and this woman in a lab coat starts ushering me out, like, get your bag, come on, we're gonna get through. I'm like, well, this is a bit weird, but alright. You know, you never question a person in a lab coat. And I kept being like, hey, but I was just waiting to see people. Like, you know, I had a little talk, but I was supposed to wait there. She's like, don't worry about it. And then I get halfway through and I'm like, I'm supposed to be getting antibiotics and stuff like that. And she's like, yeah, no, we'll do that tomorrow. And it was the cusp of Angry Will. It was the cusp. And I'm like, my exact words were, with all due love and respect, I am in extreme pain. I need antibiotics today. That is what I was talking about with the dentist. And she looks very confused, but she keeps ushering me out. and I'm messaging Littlefire like, well, did I say anything? I don't know if I messaged, but it was definitely are we about to have a he said no pickles moment? And hey, Kindball. Sorry you're up late. Hope you're doing well. And if not, then allow me and my whimsy to at least help a little bit. Okay, that is the place! Ow. Vershi, that's the place. Except for, it don't look like that no more. It do not look like that at all. No, not Vershi, Aeon, sorry. I'm still foggy. Anyway, it all got sorted, but what was bizarre is that I got ushered out to the front. Like I was about to be pushed out the door and told to go fuck myself. And then the person at reception looked very confused, like, why are you here? You're supposed to be back there. And even the fucking dentist came out, like, why are you here? I'm like, this lady. No one knew who she was. Everyone was confused at what she was doing. Like, the dude had gone back into the room, saw I was gone, and thought I'd fucking bailed. So, at this point, I am convinced she was just a fucking rando in a lab coat. You know. But it's not something you do at a dentist's. Can I see some ID? And the other thing was, at one point, while I had two men inside of me, presumably into my mouth, the fucking playlist for the whole, like, dentistry radio starts belting out, no doubts, don't speak, don't tell me because it hurts. And I had to fight every instinct to burst the fuck out laughing. Like, just the absurdity of it all hit me in a way I was not ready for. But yeah, suffice it to say, it came and it went. I got to experience POV You're the Gundam, and now I am no longer in excruciating agony. So, I got...
Reactor online, sensors online, weapons online, all systems nominal.
Hey.
Howdy.
How you doing, friend? I have a lopsided face thanks to drugs. Yeah, that old chestnut. So yeah, it didn't all get fixed yesterday, but oh, you know, Kakazi, there was no explanation for Lab Coat Lady. Oh. So yeah, the only thing to let you all know is that it didn't all get fixed yesterday. They had to do a bunch of stuff, and they went, sorry, we've got to do the thing, and now I've got to wait 2 weeks for part 2. So that's when they rebuild me with science proper. Right now, it's just got to kind of heal a bit from things that you do not need to hear at either 3 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You know what I'm saying? It just means that for the next 2 weeks and change, I'm going to be on mostly soft foods and sober. So apparently I'm doing an enforced detox for the next 2 weeks. Like, which it isn't going to be bad. No, Kymble, I thought I'd just cram some garbage up there. Just mix it up a little. Put a couple of raccoons up my face. See how it's going. God. It's not too bad. If I lean this way and I look at you all whimsically like, yes, hello, it's me. You can't see how this part is still not doing its stuff. And I have a lopsided face today. Well, it's Vanderbeest, it's the antibiotics and the stuff they've crammed up there, so. Oh, dude, that's not a confession. Like I said, when I went in, no, actually, okay. I've told my stories. We're going to call time on teeth stories, because if you are based in the US, dental shit is fucking scary. The bills are scary. The process is frightening and impenetrable. You just have to, like, fucking roll the dice. I was freaking the fuck out over the weekend. I will not lie. And very little information that people gave me was calming or helpful. So shout out to Sadlin for providing me with a clear through. And Vershi as well. But down this dark path, the kind of stories you don't want to hear lie. We don't have to go there. But we can talk about video games! And the fact that yesterday was fucking hilarious. If you didn't see yesterday, and Kimball, Kimball, you were trying to help, and I really appreciate that. Like, the sentiment was welcome, but like, you cannot know how different it is dealing with these problems in the US versus dealing with them in the UK. Like, I hope you never have to deal with it. Anyway, no more. So, as you know, I've been freaking out because this is the time of year where I freak out every year. June, July is kind of a bit of a dead zone for streaming. Little Fire knew this, and so ordered a beard online to do essentially stunt Will for what was going to be the Le Marbles 24, and then was like, I'll do a long shift stream. I'll do a shift for the long shift. And I'm still stunned. Now hang on, let me just see if Little Fire's listening. Ah, they might be, okay. So I can't say any more. But suffice it to say, like, they drove me there and did a shift with you lot. That was a huge weight off my shoulders, you know? I think the reason I slept for so much yesterday was because I finally could. I was out of pain. I didn't have to worry. And I tell you, I have not known sleep quite like it. So, while I'm not like operating at full ha-ha levels, my brain is still a little bit like, woo! Like, I'm rested, I'm happy. I ate a fuckload of food earlier. I made myself basically like, I don't know, somewhere between like rice soup and kanji. And I just fucking beasted like 2 bowls of it. It was amazing. Full Alan Partridge. Never go full Alan Partridge. Lena pierced me foot on a spark. No way, you mentalist. My favourite Alan Partridge quote. You gotta read the paper, wash the car. The kids are running around screaming. You just think, Sunday, bloody Sunday. And this is the point where the British contingent confuses everyone. I've been trying to explain the toast of London to people out here, and I come across as a lunatic. Dice, Watto and welcome. Dice, I'm starting to think that there is a conspiracy, not just against yourself, but at several plans I keep trying to get into motion. So friends, I've been talking to Dice Goddess about getting more longship badges, because currently we have all the way up to a year. I want more. And I started talking to Dice about commissioning them to create our next. And yeah, then I had Tooth War. It's great. Oh yeah, and so Divershi, and I guess to those of you who aren't on TikTok, what's fascinating is that the opening to Toast of London is actually Matt Berry playing the piano. He's an absurdly talented individual. But that little ditty has gone everywhere on TikTok, and no one knows it's from the Toast of London, which is the most in-joke British nonsense. Moose, it is the story of, oh, what's his fucking name? Is it Richard Toast? No. Who plays a failing actor in actual Soho in London. You've already heard bits from Toast of London. Stephen Toast, thank you. You just the memes are everywhere. Yes, I can hear you, Clem Fandango. Down Periscope. Fire the nuclear weapons. Could live 1,000 years and not be able to do a delivery as good as that. His nemesis raid purchase. Well. There was also another show before that, which is even less known and even weirder, which was one of the ambient comedians who's been in just about everything, and Matt Berry, called Snuffbox, where they apparently work at like a gentleman's club where they occasionally just hang people, I guess. And Kimball. So we were talking about that earlier. Yes, not today, but yes. I know that I have to, right? Like, I could put it as a bet, or I could put it as a bounty and be like, oh, if you do this, I know we have to. Still Wakes the Deep was such an incredible game, and I know the DLC is going to be phenomenal. It's going to shit me up something fierce, because you play a tech diver exploring the ruins of the oil rig from Still Wakes the Deep. And that's why we got her. That's why we got her. Honestly, that's kind of been like there's been a fair wedge of gaming news about, if you want to talk about it, friends. While kind of in the delirium of pain, I've gone down some very strange rabbit holes the last few days. I've seen some odd things. I'm just trying to think if there's anything that really, really needs us diving into. The European stuff is fucking wild, but how that will be enforced and to what extent, I'm not sure yet. TLDR, the European Union has put in a bunch of things that will basically aimed at predatory gacha and dark patterns, along with some mandatory accessibility stuff. The accessibility stuff is only for corporations, not indies, essentially. But the don't do shady shit in your video game will be enforced for indies as well. But I need to read up on it proper, because I only got to kind of like get into the paint of it whilst I was a bit wonky, you know? And Lance, they could stand to have a slap, you know? Oh, nice. That's kind. Well, are you gonna take them up on it? Two of my favorite nerdy musicians are playing in Seattle tonight, so I've got a little bit of the FOMO over here. One MC Frontalot and a Schaefer the Dark Lord, acronym STD, are playing El Corazon, which is a fun little punky spot downtown. Oh, that's cool. I mean, Kimball, that's a win. There was a big hoopla around Nexus mods. Oh, and after that big conversation we had before I went down with tooth pain, on the back of that Dungeons and Dragons conversation we had on Saturday, was it? Jeremy Crawford and the illustrious Chris Perkins just got snapped up by Critical Role. Lance, I really like the Showbox Sodo, because the bar and the stage are at roughly the same height, so you go down into the pit. Yes, Spolosaurus Perkins was from Wizards of the Coast. Actually, both of them left Wizards to join Crit Role. And yeah, it's just interesting off the back of what we were talking about prior. Because, like, Chris Perkins was kind of their... Yeah, it was one of the faces of D&D that they still had on site. And now he's gone. I just found it very, very interesting that we had that long talk about how, like, Wizards of the Coast doesn't know what to... Hasbro don't know how to make Wizards make money sense. Oh! Caffeine, thank you. I wrote half of the message and didn't finish it or hit send. So, Stoff, how are you doing? Watto and welcome. Caffeine, thank you. And Wallosaurus, it could very well happen. The thing is, if Wizards of the Coast fell over tomorrow, Dungeons and Dragons doesn't go anywhere, right? Like, it just is. Caffeine, I'd like to say I am shocked and surprised. This isn't the aftermath of anesthesia. This is my shocked and surprised face. It just droops on one side. I'm shocked and surprised you're enjoying the Dune craft and survival game. Oh. What else was going down? I'm not talking about the Kojima stuff.
This isn't us lifting together, this is a dental carry.
I can't scream. I can't physically scream about that. Oh, Everman, holy shit. Look, Thank you. Seriously, thank you. You just knocked the Vershi in half. Wallosaurus, go get some sleep, friend. Holy fuck. And very doubtful. I'll make you a cup if you fancy. Sorry, let me just process that. Errorman, fucking thank you. I don't want to talk about the money stuff around dental things. There'll probably be a slugfest the second. Do you know what I mean? But right now, thanks to some very specific people who donated a huge amount of money over the weekend, like, I don't have to worry about that first payment when it happens, and then whatever happens after that, we'll work it out, you know? Errorman, the pun went over my head because I just saw the red bit. Okay. Manslaughter dentata. Indeed, Lance. Sugar daddies and glucose guardians to a person. Holy fuck.
My ghost friends have been trying to figure out a way to become corporeal again. They have no solid ideas.
God, that's terrible. Thank you. Seriously, Errorman, holy shit. Holy shit. So now I'm... God. Slugfest 2, this time it's Shark. Thank you. Alright. Okay. I'll say this, alright? I don't want to talk about money stuff, but I'll say this. I have not been charged for the last 2 visits. They're not going to charge me until they finished rebuilding my face with the power of science, okay? So, Night Valen, Watto and welcome. No, it's fine, it's fine. It's fine. I get it. I get it. You'll prefer my stunt double. Thing is, when the pain got really, really bad over the weekend, and I'd kind of maxed out on all the painkillers I could take, I put on Only Murderers in the Building, just to kind of like something to just zone my brain out, because the Mabagi wasn't cutting it. Oh, so I'm normal, and you got premium yesterday. Okay, okay. Little Fire will take great joy in being premium Will.
A photon checks into a hotel. The front desk asks if it has any luggage. It replies no, I'm traveling light.
Get out of my house. And then please come back, Scotty. Oi, who said we're chilly? It's air conditioning. Oh, okay, now it makes sense. Now it makes sense. Jen, how the hot heck are you? Watto and welcome to Rewind and Design. That's a good title. Watto and welcome. To Mormon. Coming in, friends, coming in. So, Fallen Angel, greetings. And thank you for the follow. Coming in, friends, coming in. Malik, good to see you. Best Bean. You may be Best Bean, but have you seen these beans? Badonka Hammock Honk, Watto and welcome. You're all good. So, lovely to see you all. I'm Will. I had a bunch of dental stuff yesterday, so where usually this would be where I would raise a fist and cheer you all to the heavens as you came on in, you're going to have to settle for a gentlemanly cheers with my Kirby mug, and by like, hello and welcome. Best Bean, I don't doubt it, but I have a tin of beans that I won at GDC as the 3 times a year winner of the GDC Bean Hunt.
YouTubers do unboxing vids all the time, but when I do it suddenly it's all stop and put down that shovel and get out of the cemetery.
Ha! Crack open a cold one in this new unboxing. Well, you know what they say, very doubtful. Necromancy. Raising families right. And Jen, a complicated question. How am I doing? Right now, I am predominantly pain-free. I am able to banter and natter, even though one side of my face is a little droopy. There are a squillion great video games to play and talk about, especially if you're into horror stuff. So yeah, a complicated net positive. Oh, Rewind Design, thank you kindly. Gaelic Brit, I was just about to say thank you. You fucking legend. Gaelic just sent me a copy of Alters, which it looks like we will need to play at some point. Gaelic, the list of games to play is ridiculous. We haven't even sniffed at Expedition 33 or, I mean, fuck, when are we even going to do Deltarune? On top of all of the exceptional indie games we got. One that I am obsessed with is coming out next week, which is Operation Silverfish, which is, what if Stalker but indie and really fucking good. Oh, and Lance, I know I said it over text. I'm really glad I got to see you and Jin. I didn't realize how much all the nonsense was taken out of me, but even though it was only for like a little bit, I'm glad we all got to hang out. I really am. But yeah, so sorry. For those who don't know, so British Jen who just came in, please give them a follow. Jen and I survived the mean streets of Staines. We saw the dark underbelly of the Staines video game scene. We saw Game Station rise and fall. We saw the birth of a CEX. Pints glittering off the side of a strange metal club that used to be open every Saturday. So how was your stream? What were you up to? Yeah, rest in pepperoni, the pit. Oh, for those of you out here in the US who, when we say a metal club, you have a very specific thing in mind. The pit was like 6 days a week, just a Polish pub on the outer skirts of Hounslow. That won't mean anything to you, but it might. But on Saturdays, it was the pit. Not quite members only, but definitely a metalheads and alternative nerds only. It's a good time. So British Jen just played The Unholy Priest with Simulator, Running and Haunted Cemetery. Okay. Yeah. Rewind. You have to read the runes, the markings. I used to live just on the edge of Hounslow. I say used to, Jesus, a squillion years ago. I was in that shitey part of Isleworth that everyone pretends doesn't exist. My buddy lived in Hounslow. I will say, though, this won't make sense to anyone who has not lived in London. The Hounslow trade-in scene for video games was amazing. Because you know what? When people nick video games, they keep them in really good order. And Nova, I'm feeling a lot better. I can't yell, and I got a bit of the droopy about me. But if I turn my face like this, you can barely tell. But, like, Nova, pain is, like, barely registering a 1. Like, I can talk. I went outside. I'm a little smooth brain, and some basic tasks have eluded me in terms of brain power, but... Well, so Eagle lives... I didn't realise this, but there used to be a colloquialism around that area called Old Isleworth for people who were not rich enough to live in Richmond, but too snooty to get off their fucking high horse and admit that they're kind of in Hounslow. So it's this whole thing of like the difference between Isleworth and Old Isleworth. I was walking distance to Richmond and Hounslow, and Richmond used to have a kind of comic and nerd shop. Jen, it's more that explaining that the shitey part of... Hey, rewind. It's doable. And to everybody internationally wondering how you say it, it's Chiswick. Now, does it look like Chris Wick? Yes, it does. But it's Chiswick. Why? Because fuck you, it's a British name. The rules are made up and we change them to fuck with people. So, Jen, I say Kew Garden. I used to say Kew Garden wrong on purpose because it would annoy exactly the right kind of snooty bastard. Ugh. And now I have to read a shark fact because Nova said so. God. I actually get to the part with... Oh, God, fuck it hell! It's Kew Gardens. There are no walls of corn in Cornwall. Make it make sense. Norfolk's not even in the north, it's in the fucking Midlands. That's an old one. Hey, we once did a road trip from Upper to Lower Dicker. I'm still proud of that one. Drank a lot of cider that day. Alright, I'll try again. The fucking jump scare. Like, seriously, Nova, that's what I just got. If this keeps going, I'm upping the price. Because that is fucking horrifying. Ugh, so 15 fabulous facts about sharks and their fins. No, it's smoking a seal. That's a seal. All sharks have 4 kinds of fins. The dorsal on the back, the pectoral, the pelvic on the underside, and the caudal on the tail. So thanks for that one. Opens Book of Sharks, sees shark. Sees shark smoking a seal, like Columbo style. Wolfcrad, that is one of the few truisms. Manchester is full of men with chests. Who perhaps should cover more in the dead of winter, but... I have completely lost track of what we were talking about before raids and chaos and nonsense. I think I was just saying thank you to a Gaelic Brit for a copy of Altars. No, I mean, Jen, thank you for bringing your squad in. You know, for those who from Jen's lot who are staying up late, I will be providing banter, coffee, and conversation. And once my my face gives up the ghost for this evening, I have a squillion lovely folks to pass you over to, so friends, you will not be short. Stratford upon Avon, 0 stacking. I know, Megaboss, good on you. Get creative with it. Carl and Donut will be back. They'll still be there when you you need to rest your creative mind. And Fearless, from what I've heard, Altars is less like try until you get it right and more like decision with consequence. And I kind of like that. But we'll jump into it together, friends. Well, so you'll want to talk about how Liverpool, or the Liverpudlians pronounce pool. That's another special one. Yeah, and you're right, Furiosa, they do stack boats in Stratford. I mean, man lived on a narrowboat up there for a little while. God. It still makes me laugh that for years the people of Staines wanted the name to be changed. No one wants to live in a place called Staines. And that's even before the... Because, okay, for those of you who know the works of Sacha Baron Cohen, a.k.a. Borat, you do not know that he was a terror for a long time, with a hoisting of his own petard by the name of Ali G. And I don't know if Ali G even translates internationally, but he was trolling politicians years before his other characters. I still wonder, like... Still wonder. Anyway, for a long time, before I was living there for a period, that was the most famous that Staines had ever been, was from the Ali G movie. think that's a good point. Ali G didn't get famous until the Donald Rumsfeld interview. That's fucking hilarious. It is incredibly funny that both times Sacha Baron Cohen has done incredibly smart things that have then looped back on themselves. The Ali G movie is not good in any way, shape, or form. But it was another character that was created to just troll the shit out of, you know, politicians and wankers. Borat, very similar, and then ends up having a... The Borat movie is definitely a better use of that power. Anyway, they changed the name from Stains to Stains Upon Thames. They somehow made it worse. They somehow made it worse. They could have called it anything else. Anything else. I want to know how much Charles Dance got paid to be in the Ali G movie. Oh, I'm going to have to... Oh, no. Sadlin, are you here? So, Sadlin, when I'm allowed to drink again, we're doing the Ali G movie. Because neither of us are going into that sober. I bet it's on fucking Prime. Oh, it's not. Oh, wait, no, it is. By the old gods. Now, okay, I tell you what does not translate when talking with Americans. Bo Selector. Because, alright, we all have weird little snippets of comedy that just bury themselves in our subconscious, even long after the group that we hang out with has gone. Mine is still, I'm Melanie B! Have a look in a book! Proper ball selector. I think I wasn't even that big a fan of Bo Selector when it dropped. I still think it is hilarious that there are confusions about Craig David's career because they were nonsense batshit things that were made up on Bo Selector. And like, you all must have them, right? Like, weird little comedy ticks from a million years ago that just don't translate. Now, I got exposed to some of the Seattle flavored ones. With Almost Live, which is where is Joel Hale the character or the man? Him and Bill Nye the Science Guy. Yeah, I feel as you and other peeps introduced me to that. Joel McHale is the actor. All right, he's a bit of a character, but. And there's a lot of people round this way that would just quote stuff from Almost Live. And Orzine, how's it going? Null, good to see you again. Frankie Boyle apparently getting followed from people who once thought he was the wee bear from Bo Selector. Oh, God. Lance still talks about Jerk Beast, which was a public access show in which a giant Jim Henson puppet would trash talk his callers. Fucking what? That sounds amazing. Also, Sergeant Johnson and the announcer from Smash Bros. Run Almost Live. I mean, rewind, smack the pony, and Drop the Dead Donkey. I think I still quote those. I still quote the fucking Fast Show. Okay, so I was looking to see what got clipped from yesterday. I am going to have to go back and do, like, best clips of Little Fire pretending to be Will, because I think it's going to be very funny. But I did a whole fucking bit from the Fast show. What's for supper, mother? Pin stew. Lock me in the cupboard and feed me pins. Yeah, Big Train is definitely elite. Like, if I was going to show international audiences anything to, like, study, Big Train would definitely be it. Because you can see how it influenced so much. Like, it influenced so much of international comedy. Ehrman, you might have to put that one in Videodrome, because I don't know if I can bring it up for. Devershi, is that good oh fuck or bad oh fuck? Like, are we like, yay? Or are we worried? Sorry, Chaos was saying that the Red Green show was a very Canadian one, and I quote, if she don't find you handsome, she should at least find you handy. I mean, I still quote the boot to the head skit from the Canadian improv troupe, but just because it was made famous on Newgrounds in a fucking Phoenix Wright mashup, that's the version of boot to the head I still do. Oh, and apparently Red Green was on PBS in the US. They also got it. Lance, I was under the impression that The Whitest Kids You Know was universally known out here because, like, we knew it in the UK. Obviously from Nerf Nuke, Abraham Lincoln, Business Sniper, and of course, it is illegal to say, I want to kill the President of the United States. It is illegal to say that. You're not allowed to. I can say it because I was telling you not to say it. Also, while he did sadly pass away, one of the main gentlemen from The Whitest Kids You Know had albums of some of the funniest shit ever. With the country western banger, What About Mouthwash? And my personal favorite, My Computer Just Became Self-Aware, about cramming cocaine into a laptop. I know. Look, Gaelic Brit, thank you. You running on in, gifting me a game, running on out. Like, thank you. Oh yeah, Letterkenny. The thing that I would love to do like a drunken deep dive on is Letterkenny is obviously international. It's done very, very well. It's exceptionally funny and great, brilliantly well written. But it references other Canadian comedy bits, like the Canadian public access stuff. I'd love to do a deep dive into all the references that they're pulling from. But yeah, sorry, Gaelic Brit, travel safe, fly well. Thank you again, and it's always good to see you, friend. Cheers to you. And Megaboss, that's not really... Oh, yes, sorry. Without spoilers. Sorry, I was speed reading. For those of you who are Hades 2 inclined, there is an update. It has dropped. And Furiosa, I always hesitate to bring up SNL because it's kind of the... It's this weird thing of, like, in the UK, it felt like we had rotating kind of comedy troupes, right? So, like, you had the Fast show that kind of led into things like Big Train. You had, like, the Mighty Boosh, which spread off into a bunch of different comedy shows and stuff like that. Whereas I feel in the US, you had SNL constantly, but it was, like, always a rotating cast. You know, I don't want to say, like, 1,000 comedians and 1,000 typewriters, but when good, exceptional. Like mimetic culture like no other. And when bad, passable, forgettable, odd. But it's been going so long. Like, such a strange beast. You can't really deconstruct it like one thing. Like, SNL has essentially been like 25 different shows with a similar formula, but all under one banner. The one I still think about, though, in the UK was Balls of Steel, which got cut short due to rampant legal action. Was it they got Tom Cruise with a water gun, and he sued? Pritch and Panchard, the Pain Men, and my personal favourite still being the Cheeky Devil. God, it was funny. My personal favourite of that, because Attack and Dethrone Golf. All golf courses are a waste of space and resources, and should be destroyed with impunity, as they only serve rich wankers. Driving ranges are fun and awesome. That's not a story. On Balls of Steel, the idea was in Balls of Steel, it was a group of different comedians competing to see who could do the most outlandish thing, thus the legal action. And one of these guys would dress up as like a comedy devil, and some of the bangers, the peak was on a golf course of when people were getting close to putting, he'd run in with a balloon and a cup, take their golf ball, look at it, put it in the balloon and let it go. And one particularly rich-looking, middle-aged, irate white guy tries to sprint off after him, and I've never seen a guy hit the deck quite the same way, as I think he pulled both hamstrings at once. The London Bridge poo minefield, I mean, that was true villainy. God, Trigger Happy TV made it over here? God, I'm still haunted by that ringtone. Dom Jolly was the guy for like a hot second. There's an entire brand of comedy completely removed by the introduction of smartphones. I want to say... Oh, it's on Spike TV, of course.
Modern golf is a testament to the weakness of modern generations. Golf should be played as the Scots intended, drunk as a skunk, wading through knee-deep bracken in the Highlands.
Exactly. 1000% Vershi, and somehow you still have bits left to throw in. Thank you. So, no one has claimed ownership of the Attack and Dethrone Golf, so that might have to be Longship merch in the future. I keep putting my coffee mug over the shark's face so I don't have to look at it. Ehrman, I try not to quote the Robin Williams golf skit too much because Paul Wraith already has to put up with my bad Glaswegian. Doesn't need my worst Scottish impression. Oh yeah, Ehrman Scotty. Same brain cell. Okay, on the subject of like comedy bits, I still quote, and this is one from Robin Williams, the French voice of "My children need wine." I don't even remember the rest of the skit. I still quote that. That and I don't know. I'm just a hoarder. I used to be able to do the canteen on the Death Star back to back, but what's the difference between Scottish and Glaswegian? Well, Scottish is a soft variation on English, predominantly made famous by television and movies and people living in Edinburgh. Glaswegian is proper Scottish. Like, it's the, how to say, it's the difference between an actor putting on like a soft southern accent and actually going into the Appalachians and talking to the folk what live there. That's the only Murican equivalent I can give you. Inverness is redneck Scottish. No lies detected. But the joke is, you know, I moved to Edinburgh for 10 years and all I got was a British accent. Like, obviously this isn't my story to tell, but there's a lot of discussion about like the commodification and the Britishification of Scottish. Shitaru, I didn't even say thank you for filling the pint glass. Eraman's red bit is still sitting down there, which I have not processed, by the way. Exactly, Lance. Exactly. But it's one of those things I think about, because like, oh, and Angelos, what and welcome. This is purely fucking coincidence, alright? Because Wallosaurus came and went, but I still quote memes and in-jokes from my Creative Assembly days. And then I have to look at Littlefire and go, alright, look, this is this thing that Rob used to say, and I can't stop it. Small. And if you suggested something he liked, he'd just respond with smart. And smart or good. And I don't know why, but me and Craig got into this loop of going, smart, good, good, smart, good, smart, good, good, smart. Make it so. Good, smart, good. I don't know where it came from. You know, I know exactly where it came from. Trauma bonding. That's probably why everyone in the games industry is so tight-knit. Is we're, like, trauma bonded like fucking friction welding. Lance, I don't know if that is a good thing or a threat, but I'm glad you shared with that. Lance saying, showing my wife almost live, helped her understand the man she married. I'm sorry? You know what, Velas? That's pretty good. I still call it the Great Drinking Convention. What are we feeling like? What are you feeling like? Get some happy Mario jams. There we go. Oh. It's just, it does fascinate me, like, since internet culture is so tribal now that everybody brings a piece of their upbringing with them, I find it hilarious that there are Americans that will quote Harry Enfield. And not even Harry Enfield from his, like, later, more famous stuff, from his Obscura. The fact that Loads of Money became a fucking viral meme breaks my little brain. Aw, Simple Chaos, you're just saying that. Ishkar, I would say the in the trenches camaraderie feel is very similar. I wouldn't go so far as to compare them because, like, I mean, so long as you have someone out there, you don't have to deal with the public face to face, and you don't have to be nice to them. You can just ignore them in video games. Well, Nova, not any event for the next 2 weeks until they finish rebuilding my face with science. Sadly, I'm off the booze. No drinking till... And then, no drinking till it's done and healed. So, I guess I'm getting like an enforced sobriety summer, which is probably great for my body, let's be honest. With games, you don't have to deal with knives all the time. Unless you're Gabe Newell. That's the thing, in the food service industry, the knives are distributed evenly. In the games, they all went up the chain to Gaben. Lance, my liver's not gonna know what the fuck to do with it. Do with itself. My kidneys are gonna have like a fucking vacation. I definitely had a point about in-jokes and tribalism and the good bits of that, but it's completely left my brain. So all that's left to say is, hi, Mikey. What's up? Yeah, and Fearless, that is something about the games industry that doesn't... Okay, we talk about it here, but in other places, it is not as discussed. Oh, you're part of Jen's Raid. We were just talking about British comedy oddities that I still quote. And the games industry. That I do feel that, at least in the past, because the industry has completely changed, that in the past, the whole camaraderie thing was maybe a little bit weaponized, that, you know, you don't want to rock the boat because you don't want to cause problems for your, you know, your fellow foxhole survivors, you know. I do think about how I was very obsessed with the idea of, you know, being under the flag of a video game, you know. It's not about me, it's about the game, we're all in it together. And then realizing in later life, I should have been a fucking mercenary, you know. Because the companies that I bled and sweat for did not give a fuck about me. So, like, make a great game, be nice to your co-workers, but make sure you get yours. No, it's like, it's different when you're in an indie team where you have a stake in it. But when it's a huge company, you know, anything that's, I'd say, above like 50 people. Ah, Ishkar, I've never heard that term, but I get it. Yeah, oh, and Sauron, fucking same. It's been absolutely wonderful building something that I can say I really am a part of. But there were a lot of times, especially during Total War, where I had like opportunities and things where I should have enriched myself, but I was like, no, I don't want people to think, you know, I'm in it for anything else. They need to know I'm a team player, and what did that do me? I ended up basically alienating myself in my tiny team, or getting alienated, having a bad time of it, and then leaving. Yeah, fool of an overguard. I should have taken the opportunities.
Job's done. Time to eat.
Job's done. Time to eat. Ah, and Vanderbeast, thank you for the 200, you fucking ledge. I made myself like a not quite rice and soup, not quite kanji, but like miso soup rice thing this morning. It's fucking glorious. I was so hungry. I was so hungry. Yeah, Fearless, you know what? That's a really good way of doing it. Don't fuck over your homies in the video game trenches, but the companies have no allegiance to you. Sorry, Fearless phrased it way better, which was, never give your loyalty to companies, because as a legal fiction is incapable of reciprocating. A legal fiction is incapable of reciprocating loyalty. However, do show your loyalty to the people you work with, because they will repay that loyalty in kind. Abso-fucking-lutely. And I think that's where a lot of the passion and love comes from the indie space, because You know, there's no longer this disillusioned idea that if you work really hard and you push yourself, you could work at BioWare. Whereas now it's like, I guess you got to work at BioWare. And that's no hate on the things they put out, but we now know the strict environments that they work in, the lack of creativity that one would be afforded if you joined that team if you're not in the upper echelons, right? You know, that environment has had people fighting up and down the ladder for so long that that's all sewn up. Ooh. But the thing is, you have to understand when making video games, it's almost a little bit closer to like a theatrical production in the way in which you kind of bond with your homies. Like, sure, it's a desk job. You go in, you clock out, but the vibe is the same, right? Everything will be all right on the night. We're all working towards this thing. And when it happens, it's really good. I will say when it happens and it's bad, there's no feeling quite like it. In a bad way. But that's another story. You don't need to hear me whinging about Rome 2 tales, because you've heard most of them. Oh, to those of you who just joined us, hi. I'm Will. I worked in video games for a squillion years. Whether I do or do not currently work in video games is a philosophical discussion. But I've done probably total like 10 or 15 years. Okay. Sorry, the reason I keep pushing at my nose is, like I said, this bit here is still a little numb. Which is why I have droopy face. I'm not just sitting sideways. Yeah, Rebels, 15 years. Okay, but it wasn't all trenches. Like, I'd say it was trenches for probably about 7 of that. Maybe 8. Like, Improbable was stressful, but it wasn't proper trenches. That was tech company wankers. And, like, no hate to Rocket Works, but that was an odd environment, but it wasn't trenches, you know? I don't know. Like, since I met you lot, since I started doing this, like, we have our busy periods. I mean, actually, they're all busy periods, but it's not the same kind of, like, hell stress. Indeed, Voneflow, it is actually pronounced Qua. Anyone who tells you it's pronounced QA, they're trying to hoodwink you. So in terms of game news stuff, I haven't seen too much stuff that we desperately need to talk about right now. I do find it strangely odd the amount of focus and attention that Stellar Blade keeps getting. Compared to the Dune survival game that just dropped, which is rampantly outselling it. But the North American House Hippo. I have been shown that one. Sorry, I was just checking the hot sheets. And Favor 6, Watto, and welcome. Are you just... What do they started calling Little Fire Premium Will? Sadly, your Premium Will expansion only lasted for a day. Yeah, no, Angelos, everything has dropped. It's doing extremely well. I haven't looked at how it's doing good. So, Angelos, you might have missed this just because it's kind of been impromptu nonsense, but I've had problems with my teeth over the weekend and stuff like that. So I had to get an emergency dentist in on Monday, and then yesterday I got the start of my shit getting fixed. Little Fire, so that I could actually rest and not freak the fuck out, got a ginger beard and did a whole stream pretending to be me, which was very funny. And then ended up streaming Date Everything for a good few hours. And it was extremely funny. No, I mean, Angelos, it's fine. If you want to not hang out here, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Sorry, Verdant Floater, to pull back the beard, pull back the curtain. It was, in fact, Little Fire yesterday. I know, it was absolutely spot on. And just not that many. Because once people realized that Little Fire fucking loves sharks, it didn't quite have the same appeal, I guess. And Furiosa, hells yes. Or at very least, you know, we'll steal Little Fire for a Tuesday and keep going. Okay. Lance, let's see if we can decipher this this mystery in general. Like how the Lapras has kind of ended up as like middle distance eyeballing. One of these days, friends, I would love to do like a coffee table book of cats interrupting Longship. Nova, I was having a great time. I don't know what you mean by tortured. Little Fire was getting tortured by the puns. Apparently the stairs were peak for punnage. Ah, fucking goddamn it! If you haven't seen, by the way, so this is the full color extra. Once this book is done, I am done with Shark Facts. This is the fucking page. A great white smoke and a seal. Okay. Sharks also use their fins to communicate. Male sharks often bite the female's pectoral fin to show interest. Thanks. How wonderful. Oh. Yeah, just give you a crush. A little nibble. Look, Aeon, it wasn't my call. Apparently Ray facts, even though they were in a book of shark facts, didn't count. So... Whew. Okay. And yeah, and they're gone forever. Forever. Oh, but yeah, I'd love to say I was playing like a whole bunch of interesting games while I was covering A Little Fire. What, Owen, welcome back. Apparently, your performance yesterday has been dubbed Premium Will rather than Stunt Will. So I feel like it's kind of... Oh, yes, and whoever it was that the shout out to Little Fire, if you're not, please, 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 follow him on Twitch and on YouTube, because we've been doing, like, couples horror nonsense, and it's been really fun. It's been really fucking fun. No, he said nice things. For Nova! Sorry for 1,000 Yard Stary. I'm trying to decide whether to take some ibuprofen. Because my tooth's not hurting, but my jaw is, from where it was held open a lot yesterday. And I'm trying to decide if I want to ibuprofen it up and keep going. Because I have missed you lot. I have missed our banter. Yeah, you know what? It's a painkiller, and it is a anti-inflammatory. So bear with me just a second, friends. You know, I'll put up the BRB. You can hear me puttering around in the background. Oh shit! And whoever was saying they liked the jacket, this is the back of it. This was a gift from Camille. It is my very own biker jacket of the Longship, and I love it. Camille also gave me a guide to what the stitching isn't stitching. They're Norse runes, and what they say. Predominantly, it's the lyrics to "We All Lift Together" from Warframe, which we kind of. Let's be honest, we fucking stole it. It's ours now. If the ninjas want it, they can come and take it back. It's not a coal. It's not a coal. Actually, I'm going to nip to the loo as well. So I'll be back in just a second, friends. Okie dokie. Alright. So, aside from y'all with your cultish insistence. Hang on. There we go. Some beachside nonsense. Oh, okay, so since last I've seen you, what have you been up to? What have you been playing? Right now we are 1,000% drowning in incredible games. And I am not sure how in the hot Jiminy Cricket we are expected to get into all of them. Oh, legend. Dragon's Dogma 1, the character creator was famous for how in detail one could get. And Cold Ankles, congratulations. To all of you, not a cult. Playing that new indie hit, Splatoon 3. They splatten. They kid now, they squid now. Good to hear you're still enjoying Warframe. Oh, I forgot the Gex collection dropped already. Do it, Aeon. Remember, if the can ain't bulging, we indulging. Our new philosophy when dealing with tinned soup. And Nova, greatly appreciated. It's not a cult. Cults have very specific tax status. And the Bacon Avenger Memorial Fund is fraud, which is why Bacon's not dead, you fucking terrors. Simple Chaos may or may not have gone overboard on the Puzzle Game Steam sale and are, of course, replaying The Binding of Isaac. Hey, don't worry about it. Apparently, my brain desperately wants to leap into Ball X Pit, but I can't. So I'm just all about that fucking Nubby's Number Factory life. I have several Tonys still unlocked. Well, okay, I've got 3 Tonys not locked. Thank you, Yeti. I have. Oh, Edwin, same. That it's going to do me a damage. It is everything that was beautiful about Loop Hero, Nubby's Number Factory, and Vampire Survivors. They fucking nailed it. So Edwin, when I learned that even after like a proper fusion, you can then infuse it with 1 more sphere. Like, I made a super ghost bleed poison ball. So it traveled through things, but as it got to the back, it zipped back at me at breakneck speed, spewing poison and also bleed on everything. Oh, nice! I've said many times throughout the years that we should do a stream and stuff on Kenshi, but for some reason that's one of those cursed games for the Longship that every time I plan a Kenshi stream, something gets in the way. And Kenshi's fascinating because it's so much its own beast, but it is so freeform. Like, the Eve folks got nothing on Kenshi, you know what I'm saying? Humble has Wondersong and Everhood. I mean, look, if Humble Bundle ever has like a good bundle, let me know. It's just, there's so much they've done that's kind of left me with a sour taste in my mouth, you know? Oh, sorry, for those who don't know, Humble basically got rid of their whole Humble Games team and then kind of rehired the remains as like an external, like, third party. They got rid of their partner program, which was really good and was one of the kind of cornerstones that kept the Longship going for a good while. So I guess, like, it was always going to happen. I mean, they're owned by the same company that owned like IGN and a few other huge entities. Yes, their partner program was slain through an optional email. Okay, sorry about this. Says a friend of mine is now the longest tenured person in that company. I think it's, I don't want to name names, but I think it's the same friendo we both know. God. I really wanted to pitch them a show like showing off all the good shit on Humble. It never happened. It never happened. And at this point, like, there aren't any like digital stores. There aren't any other like good digital stores to leap to. There's a few kind of quasi grey market setups, but sorry. Whew. I'm not in pain, by the way. I'm just a little scatterbrained. I think that yeah. Whew. Sorry. For those who don't know, so grey market sites are basically like key resellers that aren't inherently bad, but some of them can be extremely shifty. So you got your G2As, which are terrible, and you've got some of your others that are more selective about how they like acquire and sell keys from developers in the ilk, but they still feel weird. Some of the other bundle sites are okay, but again, I always feel sorry, if I'm going to rep a place where you buy shit from, like a video game store, like a digital storefront or what have you, then it's going to be one that I personally buy shit from, you know? A lot of the other like Humble Bundle competitors kind of like fizzled out over the years. And GOG is still in my fucking bad books for their like generative AI ads, which they have not yet acknowledged. Ooh. But GOG do a lot of good as well, so it's fine. It's fine. I tell you the weirdest thing though. So you know I've been kind of like going on about that rainbow-soaked like meditative shooter, Tamashka or Tamashka. I don't know how to pronounce it proper. The one that has like the guided meditation breathing on the loading screen. Nick, I do. I'm sparing everybody the gory details, but as I was saying earlier, the two funny stories were midway through when I have two men inside my gob. The playlist for the dentist's place started playing No Doubt's Don't Speak, Don't Tell Me Because It Hurts. And I had to fight back a fit of laughter. And a strange rando tried to shuffle me out of the building. And it turned out nobody knew who the fuck this person was. So, that was my weird bit. And Verdant, that's understandable. They tried the edgelord marketing thing. It did not work. I'll tell you who the worst is for that is, Opera GX. Their whole like edgelord marketing stuff makes me want to vomit on whoever writes it. But that's another story. But yeah, so I did a deep dive into Tamashka, which it's by the same dev who did Lovely Planet and Lovely Planet 2. Goes by Quick Tequila. Lathy, I mean, it's a million years ago. They basically got rid of the Humble Games team. They didn't tell the people or the people who were being published by them that they were getting rid of the Humble Games team. And then rehired some of them as like a third-party consultants. They've had several rounds of layoffs. They keep doing like weird, creepy AI bundles and shit like that. And the one that hurt us directly was they used to have a partner program that was one of the best. Basically, like, I could recommend you games, and if you chose to pick them up, Humble would ping some change at me. They got rid of that and started using like a weird third party. And when I started investigating them, like, their site was like rife with AI art. So there's no fucking way I'm having any of y'all's financial information even going near some shit like that, you know? So Humble's not awful bad. Like, and if they have a bundle that's good as a deal, fuck it, we're all poor. Like, save a few bucks, get some good games. But yeah, Nova, abso-fucking-lutely. Because the thing is, it wasn't just, it was one of those like everything partner code website type things. Very reminiscent of the one that stung all those YouTubers that didn't research it properly. Was it Honey? Oh, and Angelus was saying that Humble's been good for grabbing like content packs for Unreal Engine. Honey was the browser add-on. Okay. Look, I'm not in the habit of being a massive knobend, but it is quite funny because when the video went out about Honey, it was kind of revealed to be this huge surprise. But honestly, 5 or 10 minutes of research would have found it. It's just the people who got roped into that either didn't look or had their management people do it without looking into it. And I find that exceedingly funny. Like, okay, we're all gonna make mistakes. I am always gonna be vehemently vigilant when it comes to anything that we're putting cash towards. So any charities, any GoFundMes or drives, and anything that's like a third-party site for buying video games or what have you. Because you lot are incredibly powerful. You put a lot of cash into keeping me alive, right? Keeping me alive and rebuilding me with science as the current theme. I want to make sure that that is never exploited. And yeah, with Honey, it took like 5 minutes to be like, that's sus. That whole thing is sus. Verdon, I'm hoping. I initially was going to go for the Bluetooth speaker, so I could belt out like tunes from my gob. Little Fire very astutely pointed out that I already sing badly when I'm nervous, so why double up? So I'm either going for undercarriage lighting, like Mr. Freeze in the phenomenal Batman and Robin, or one that kind of turns into like a blow dart, like Deus Ex, just like a tranquilizer one, just so I never have to deal with like children or people in the way or weird drunks at the bar. I can just be like, thunk, done. To pay for a facelift in a couple decades' time. Not even slightly. And yeah, Nick's got a good point. Like, I'm of the millennial generation. Apparently, we don't get old. We just get historical events every other week. Whoa! Ah, see, Fable 6, I didn't know that. I don't watch as much Markiplier stuff as I have done in the past, but yeah, apparently he did a video saying that Honey was sus, and all his colleagues and cohorts went, nah. Aeon, they haven't made self-brushing teeth yet, but they have made self-destructing teeth. Anyway. Oh, I'm throwing my headphones around. All right, calling Wizard Veto, though, on Teeth Talk. All right, because I'm not done. For those who don't know, yesterday didn't end up being the everything. So I now have a bunch of stuff all sorted, and in 2 weeks I get it rebuilt. But that means I have 2 weeks of soft food and no booze. And things to worry about. Anyway. At the moment, at the moment I am looking for long-term sponsors for the Longship, just to take the stress off of, the stress off for me, but also so you lot don't, so it's not your responsibility to keep me alive. You know, we all want a Tamagotchi that would feed itself, right? Well, so Nick, I don't know if you saw, but yesterday, Little Fire did a stream as me. Originally Stunt Will, now dubbed Premium Will. Little Fire ended up doing a little bit on Trash Goblin, which is an amazing game, made by some very good friends of mine. Well, I don't know. I was out cold, full of drugs and sleepy, but because Little Fire was doing the stream, I didn't have to freak out, so I finally slept good. I was so groggy. Yeah, that sounds about right. Jeffrey, Watto, and welcome. Also, Jeffrey, by my calculation, you are currently winning Clip of the Month. So, as it currently stands, you, like, when the month concludes, you will be getting a game chosen by me from my personal wine cellar of interesting indie stuff. But remember, friends, whoever has the top clip at the end of the month gets a prize. The prizes may change. How you get the most amount of views, that is up to you. So long as it's within Twitch T's and C's, do it. But it is not the most views on all clips, but it is the most of one clip. Oh, Fearless, I totally knew that publishing an island in UEFN using only API calls is complicated. I totally knew that. I could have told you that. I could have saved you time. Ah, yes. So, Nick, I did see the sad news around Radiant Echoes. I want to know more of what happened. Because... Oh, sorry, for those who don't know, so it was announced that Alazara Radiant Echoes will not be making it to launch. I believe the team has been... the studio has been shut down. And there's so much about this that I want to know more about. You know what I mean? So they raised, what was it? Roughly like $350,000 through Kickstarter to finance the RPG. The studio is based out of France, and I don't know how many employees they had and how it was going. Favor 6, I'm not sure what title you're talking about, but this was... Hang on, let me just show you all. This is what they put out. So very kind of like gorgeous JRPG goodness with some established artists and whatnot. The thing that strikes me was maybe they were hoping that the Kickstarter was going to lead them to a publishing deal, which has happened in the past. But like, did something go wrong? Was there like financial mismanagement? Because like, if the Kickstarter was just designed to be a publishing stunt to raise like coverage and awareness of the title so that they could get a publishing deal, I mean, other people have done the same thing and succeeded. But if they were going to bring that game to market for a little over $250,000, $1/3 Oh, French salaries in Paris? Fuck. That's like European San Francisco prices. Yeah. I mean, for all the goodness, video games are still like charting the seas. You can plot a known course, but things can always throw you for a loop. Doing this whole thing wasn't the dumbest idea I've heard, but in the same breath, yeah. Like, if you'll know more about Alright, sorry, bear with me just a second, friends. Okay. Okay. You know what, Nick? That makes sense. Sorry, and again, forgive me for being a little bit... Ooh, I'm still in recovery mode. Nick was saying that they feel that the game was gorgeous, but the classic JRPG battle system might have sunk them. Yeah. I mean, their visual style is very clean, very obvious. I could see the Final Fantasy X leaking out from the sides, but regardless of what you think of Expedition 33, it has changed the game. And even if they were continuing, they would have to up their UI something fierce. Like, I both love and fear for every UI UX designer who has, after the success of Clair Obscura, has just been told, all right, we got to make it weird. Because it's going to be 50% like, oh shit, I got to rebuild it. And 50% that one scene from Naruto with Brock Lee dropping off the weights. Oh, you want weird UI? In fairness, Nick, like, there was no data that, like, turn-based JRPG style titles were selling. You know, that market was kind of run into the ground and then perpetuated by a very specific group of devs, predominantly out of Japan. You know, we've got folks like Damien doing like essentially counterculture to it, but the turn-based JRPG studios haven't stopped. They just haven't been selling nearly as well as they did during the PS2 era. But they kept going. Every time I look at like a game store and I look at like the PS4, PS5 section, I'm always boggled by how many janky ass JRPGs are hanging around there. Okay. And Favor 6, that's interesting. Looking at the title, like, this team hasn't put out anything else yet. So it'll be interesting to see if it makes it, you know what I mean? I mean, Verdant, and that's why we hang out with Damien. Oh yes, and as Nick was saying, that the JRPG scene was very dead outside of, you know, your weird stuff and your gacha, but there were, I should say, are a lot of studios operating outside of Japan, operating out of Japan, who have just slimmed their team down to an absolute bare-bones skeleton crew and just crunched them, putting out kind of janky-ass JRPGs. Yeah, and Vanderbeest, I forget who it was that started putting the turn-based elements in. I want to say that one's on Mother or Earthbound. But I'd have to look back into it. Well, yeah, Angelos, that's an excellent point. Like, the Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VIII days, like, Final Fantasy VII was the peak of, like, visual fidelity and style. Was it Mario RPG? I guess so. The original did have the QTEs. Hey, I'd love a Final Fantasy VIII remake. I just need to find a way to import a metric fuckton of salt and vinegar sticks. Because when I got thrown out, I played a lot of Final Fantasy VIII on this crappy TV that I found on the side of a road. Plugged my little PS1 into. It's good times. Yeah, so Legend, they're kind of like... You take a cheese puff, remove the cheese part of it, instead of making it a poof, make it a stick, and then soak that shit in like a salt and vinegar flavor. Boom, salt and vinegar sticks. Yeah, I mean, they're not amazing, but you could buy a huge bag of them for under £1, and they were good for, like, making you feel like you'd had a meal when you hadn't eaten. I was very thin. They're a step up from Space Raiders, but a step down from literally any other crisp. None of which I can eat right now, so yay! So Edwin, I think it's important to see the differentiation, right? So, like, point-and-click adventures are dead was a common misconception for a while, but that market was underserviced. Same with, like, nobody wants space games. No one was making space games because a few people had taken a swing and a miss. With JRPGs, that audience has shrunk, but are continuously being serviced, right? The point-and-click adventure squad were left hungry, wandering, and alone. The philosophy that people didn't want them came off of some notable failures in that space, leading to kind of a business common sense that actually wasn't sensical or common. Well, so Angelos, I'm talking like, okay, so during the 2010s, there were quite a few lines of what was considered like common knowledge. Space games don't sell. Nobody wants point and clicks. No one's going to pay for online services. Now, those have all been proven false. But during that time, there weren't enough titles being made at a scale that could satisfy that. So, like, we had things like the Blackwell Legacy and things like that. I said things like that 3 times. Fuck me running. which languished in early kind of like digital distribution, but kept chugging along. Now, Wadjet is like the motherfuckers you go to if you're making anything that clicks and points. Space games, no one was touching that shit. And then both Star Citizen and Elite Dangerous went, hello! Changed that fucking disco scene right up. But JRPGs kind of continued to trickle along. They never had like a big death. The action RPG, I shouldn't call it that because that's the Diablo clone. God, I hate our genres sometimes. But the open world action combat RPG superseded the JRPG because we no longer had to play games with representative combat. We could actually run around and hack and slash people, you know? Fuck, where was I going with this? Okay, so my point being is that, like, we no longer have the same kind of, like, colloquialisms that we used to have. However, like, the business acumen of most publishers is lacking. Like, you got your play stacks and you've got your occasional good signs, but in the larger areas, there are still quite a few okay, come on, Will. Let's get that brain going. Get me talking about business shit. There are still genres that don't sell. Hey C222, how are you doing, friend? Watto and welcome. Go get yourself some coffee. I'm actually good for coffee, which is wild. But that's probably because I actually, you know, slept for the first time in a squillion years. You know. Things that are dead, plastic instrument games, light gun games, Toys as games, peripheral-based stuff, just because cost of production and distribution and the death of, like, games retail, like, you're not going to make your money back on those. If you wanted to make something along those lines, NFT games for some reason, oh, bless them. The crypto winter, it's almost over. Promise. And Salem, that's a good point. It's really hard to get as clear a view as we had as the industry before, but in the same breath, that led to a lot of misconceptions. Like, the concept that people didn't want to play space games came from this idea that we were, that there'd been a few notable games that had tried to translate to modern consoles and do the whole, like, dogfighting thing that used to be so prevalent on consoles. And they didn't sell, it didn't work. And so that concept seeped into the B2B thinking, only to be proven wrong. Okay, so this is the point where we're kind of, all right, what we're talking about here is business philosophy, not user behavior. All right? Dating sims have been making bank. Like, they don't make insane money, so they don't get discussed as much, but whilst companies will still do the expert dating game as an April Fool's Day thing, the actual business of dating games is alive and well. Yeah, Avengers, single-player games are dead. That was fucking funny. Numbers, yeah, I'd say a good, like, 60-70%. I'm not in any kind of pain. It's amazing. I'm a little slow today, and I got droopy face. So if it looks like I'm being, like, cheeky side eye. No, just my face does that today. Now, Nick, I do agree with the cozy game bottoming out, but predominantly because it was so successful as a marketing term and as a branding strategy that everyone is jumping on it. Like, the cozy game movement has become so diluted that it no longer holds weight like it used to. Yeah, at least hit numbers. At least I'm not having a stroke. Or if I did, I'm able to talk and commune fine, so I guess it'll just be the droopy-faced Will Adventures. Should I stop pitching my cozy extraction shooter? You fucking laugh, mate. You laugh, but you know there are at least 20 different cozy extraction shooter pitches. Assailant, that's wild. In games, cozy just means whatever the fuck somebody wants it to mean. Now, Legend, I like home with a cup of tea games, but I mean, we've talked about this before about how like descriptors and genres in video games are always shifting and changing and stuff like that. And cozy became a really good marketing term for like a hot second, but it's now become saturated. Like, people will try and pitch like cozy horror. It's like, homie, you can pick one or t'other. For some people, horror games are a space they can be in. But by making that intellectual argument in that space, it dilutes this idea of what cozy was, thus meaning that anything described thusly are gonna just flitter onto the wind. We do need more horse quests. And more pirate games. Oh yeah, and Fearless, it's so funny because, sorry, what Fearless was just talking about is how like in each of the eras, the investment and publishing side have been rushing to grab onto markets they felt they needed to be chasing, always behind the curve, never with an understanding of user behavior or what people actually wanted to play in games, and we see it cycle in, cycle out. You know, for those of us who are old enough to remember after World of Warcraft changed everybody's thinking, the rush to MMO. God. I mean, don't make me bring up the survivor bias plane, but, you know, for every The Old Republic, there were 10 other MMOs that cost $1 squillion, died, and destroyed the entire studio. You know? Every 4 months, yet a new WoW killer. So I don't think live service as a business model is done. I think the era of trying to come up with the business model around live service and then make the rest of the game fit is kind of kaput. I think, what was it? The Last Descendant? What was it? The soulless everything game. Fuck, what was it called? Last Ball Bag or something like that. I think that's probably the final one out of those we're going to see. I think that Marathon has the better chance out of anything else because it's weird, it's visually striking, and it's Bungie. It's not a new team, and it's got the ability to stand on its own two legs, but you have to understand that when we say live service, we mean like that particular business model that predominantly rotates around like FOMO and season passes, you know? Like, for online games, people are still absolutely hungry. I know, Nick. Secret World. I think it's still limping along, but it's not like it should be. Have we seen the Doom 2016 clones? Maybe we should make that a genre, like a Doom-like. Yeah, heard it here first. Doom-like's the future. Can I just take a small point, just a small aside? And Gear Graphic, what a welcome. One of the things that's been making me laugh is that most of the people I know who have gotten hands-on with Doom: The Dark Ages have had a very good time with it, except for all of them have pointed out how there is a long-ass mandatory cutscene with lots of talking at the beginning of it. The one game you don't have to do like long drawn-out openings with. It's Doom. Kill demons, you Doom guy. Oh, but you're in the Dark Ages. No. You've already said too much. It's Doom guy, but his shield is also a chainsaw. Say less. Yeah. Funcom are not the good guys. Oh, Avenger, you know if you go deep enough into the 40k lore, it's in there somewhere. Okay, Megaboss, go get some sleep. I hope your creative spree was productive, and yeah, let me know when Dungeon Crawler Carl grasps you once more. It is ironic that Gear Graphic, I can see that with the success of Doom and Doom Eternal, that Doom: The Dark Ages probably went through more of like a design by committee, big publisher style of creation, which is fine. Like, that's not awful. But one of the strongest suits that Doom 2016 had was, you are Doom guy, kill demons. You want to find out the rest of the lore later? Great, brilliant, go for it. But you start on that fucking slab, you pull your stuff up, you start by crushing a demon's skull with your thumb or some shit, and then just go. There was even a part in Doom 2016 where a guy tries to do exposition at you to explain why the demons actually are a good thing, and that siphoning energy from hell and opening his portals is actually great if you stop and think about it. At which point Doom guy just punches the console to shut him up. Now, I'm not saying Doom Eternal is bad, but it is a good example of how that creep can come on in. And Gear Graphic, committee design can work. But, okay, when I've seen, like, good big design committee stuff work is that you have a core tenet, right? So the game is X. We will never deviate from X. And then within that, each little group is given their little corner to experiment and expand on. Now, usually that involves the poor writers not coming in until, like, 6 months before launch, but, you know. Oh no, Gear Graphic. Doom 2016 tells a great story, and for a guy with no spoken lines is incredibly evocative. Like, joking aside, like, it's brilliant. But anyway, Doom 2016, available on Game Pass. I haven't even checked to see what's on there recently. Oh, Firebreak's on there. Oh, excuse me. Oh, just as an FYI, friends, so I don't know what this week's going to look like in its entirety. I was supposed to hang out with Chorby this evening, and I've just had to admit defeat. Because, I mean, we're hitting the 2-hour mark. I'm kind of proud of myself, but I'm probably going to have to tap out in a little bit. I've probably got like another like half an hour or so like left in me. And I want to keep chatting with you all and hanging out. what was I saying? Oh, yes. So this week. So today we have had coffee. We have hung out. We haven't gone into Rain World, but we should be. Hopefully, touch wood. Shit. Yes, it is wood. Tomorrow is Thursday. Hookshop. What even is Rain World? It's Slugcat's house. That's what Rain World is. Tomorrow I'm going to play by ear. Hopefully I can get back to Night Rain, because the more I find out about that game, the more fascinated I am. Okay, jumping back to our previous conversation about, like, you know, genres being dead. Like, you could not have convinced me a couple years back that we would be seeing a Dark Souls Battle Royale and that it would be awesome. See, Nick, there is actually a snowy section in Rain World, and you can get hypothermia and die, but if you swallow a warming rock. Yes, Aaron, I really want to get back to Night Rain. I'm obsessed. There's possibly a Bloodborne amount of you know what? Also, actually, no. Calling Night Rain a battle royale is unfair. It's a roguelike, but the fact that it might have like Chalice Dungeon level lore in it. So, for example, like there's an item that interacts with a door somewhere in the map that no one has worked out what it does. The huge swinging bell jangles apparently are in game. People who have hit like 140, 150 hours haven't seen it yet. Like, there is some weird, rare stuff in that. Like, I didn't realize the meteor strikes were super rare, because I think we saw 2 of them when I was running with Dan in the early days. Firals, how am I not surprised that, 1, you managed to pop up as soon as I mentioned Night Rain, but also make it a Kirby reference. Also, Poyo Poyo. But yeah, so Saren, Virals, I hope we can run Night Rain tomorrow. My pain levels are gone, but I don't want to fucking jinx it, you know what I mean? And then on Friday, I don't think we're going to be doing Firebreak. I think it'll just be Longship and Squad doing something together. I don't know what we'll be streaming or doing, but I'll think of something. And then Saturday, we're doing a Gundam build stream. So for those of you that have model kits or minis to paint, or hell, crochet kits you've been been leaving for a day, this Saturday, if you're not out having adventures, come hang out with me and make some stuff. All right? Nick, we have so many games. We will be getting back to Abiotic Factor. Sadly, sans the Chordmeister. Like I said, I was supposed to hang out with him this evening. It was supposed to go for kind of like farewell drinks. But I have neither the energy nor the ability to drink. Like, not even for sober nonsense. Yeti, the Le Marbles 25 did get moved. I don't have a date as of right now. Because I was going to move it to a specific day, but that's not too far off when I'm getting all this repaired, and I don't know what that's going to do to me. And I don't want to go into details because we said no more teeth talk, but it definitely left me. I'm still a bit groggy from it, and that was yesterday, you know. Well, so Nick, that was the original acquisition of the ginger beard. We were going to have Stunt Will. So, like, basically, Little Fire, who is unfortunately one of those naturally awake in the morning types, was going to take over as Will, and I was going to sleep on the couch behind. Premium Will, yes. Oh yeah, no, Yeti, it's going to be funny as hell. No one, to my knowledge, has done a Marbles on Stream race that long. Like, what even happens to that title? But yeah, Saturday, My good friend John is going to be joining me, and I need to check in with him, make sure that we're still on for it. But John was at Summer Games Fest physically, so we'll be able to get like a much better understanding of what it was like on the ground and like how the coverage was from that. Because like we've only studied Summer Games Fest from the outside. 1 week of marbles. I think Twitch disconnects you after 48 hours, but the marbles would still be going. We need to have the first day just dedicated to people putting their marbles in. God, that'd be wild. Regular Will, Premium Will, and Diesel Will. We don't talk to Diesel Will. 7 days of marbles is a good way to lose them. Flair, will you ever know? Maybe this was Will pre-recorded in front of a live studio audience. Maybe you're the only person in chat who's actually live. Flair, how are you doing? Actually, Flair, at some point, I don't know when, I know I keep saying this, I really, really want to hear your thoughts and feels from Summer Games Fest. Like, from the actually being there and around. Like, not right now, because I've probably only got, like, another, like, 15, 20 minutes left in the tank. They rebuilt my face with science. Okay, you did. I think when I told you I might have been in a lot of pain, so I might not have remembered. But I'm doing good. Pain all gone, and I have another appointment in 2 weeks. So for the next 2 weeks, I gotta eat soft and stay sober. Yay! But I'm doing good, even though I still have droopy face. Eat soft, stay sober. Yeah. Fuck, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, I'm starting to mentally flag. But here's the thing, friends, and I'm not going to go on about it, but obviously everything happening is going to be a financial fuckfest, and not in a fun way. So I don't know if we'll call it Slugfest or what have you, but I will organize some fucking chaos nonsense once I get the bill for being able to talk again. You lot have already been fucking amazing, and like one of y'all threw in a huge amount of cash while I was asleep on, what was it, like Saturday, Sunday night? Like, holy fuck, thank you. But it does mean you'll get to torture me in some way, shape or form. I'm not sure how I feel about this whole, like, periodic table of will. I mean, Phyllis, if you are serious, I will absolutely take you up on that offer, friend. All right? Let's talk about that offline. Because, hey, I'm a poor guy. I will accept any and all help I can. I want to keep the Longship going for as long as possible. So, fucking thank you. All right. Okay. We'll talk about this. Oh, boy, howdy. Okay. Nick, why would you give that? Angelos was the one that drew Blobby Will the first time. Tonal whiplash. Tonal whiplash. So I have cursed things to look forward to tomorrow, Angelos. Okay. Thank you, fucking terror. All right, then I am mentally crashing, and I am not crying on stream. I managed to keep my shit together because I can't yell, right? Because I don't. My jaw was aching just from being held open by two burly men yesterday. Oh, sorry. I should. Exactly, Rebels. That's how I'm celebrating my Pride Month, with two men in my mouth. Oh, Dustin, I know exactly what I said. Nick, that is a great big lie, and I know it. Yeah, and I'm having that. I had my nice Friday on a Thursday off, on a Tuesday afternoon. God damn it, Aeon. Don't tell me cause it hurts. Ah, Gwen Stefani, why did you have to turn out to be a piece of shit? I'm not saying I'm surprised. I'm just... my little heart, you know? The rewiring of my neurons that Gwen Stefani did to a young Will cannot be overstated. Okay, sorry. I have definitely hit the wall, friends. So, Flair, I will blep at you about when we can talk about Summer Games Fest and whatnot. Because let me tell you, all of the industry breakdowns I have read about, like, Games Fest and Next Fest have been fucking useless. I'm trying not to be an industry snob, but I get to hang out with you lot all the time. And between all of us, how do we have a better grasp than companies who are supposed to be paid to give people insights? Oh, actually, so jumping back real quick, Hookshop, we did the same. We only missed a couple of them, and it was absolutely overload. It reminds me of the E3 show floor in that if you're not a main IP and you don't have something to help you stand out, you just get lost in the churn. However, Steam's whole transfer into wishlist means that if PC is your primary platform, then Summer Games Fest and Next Fest are both great. Though, what was really funny, hang on, let me just show you this one, because even throughout my my pre-nonsense nerves yesterday, I was trying to think of a good way to, like, sum up Summer Games Fest, and it's this, all right? Now, I'm going to show you an image, and this sums up why the weird indies stood out in that whole cacophony, and a lot of those, especially the Animu gacha games, got lost in the churn. This is a visual representation of all the games we saw at Summer Games Fest. The problem was, none of my industry friends got it, and I got a bunch of comments from metal fans being like, yeah, Party Cannon reference. I'm like, okay, you're right, but please, please. And Gideon, I would definitely say with analysts, the journos right now they're in a worse position than we are to analyze it. Like, the few journos that were covering Summer Games Fest came in two flavors. The, like, handful that were actually sent to Summer Games Fest to play titles as an exclusive, and the ones who were covering it from home like ourselves. Both groups were violently overworked. We have a lot more time to digest and understand Summer Games Fest, and that was with me working, like, what was it, like 8 days in a row? Yeah, Gideon, I tried. I thought it was because I hadn't had coffee this morning, and then I came back with coffee and I was like, no. But anyway, in a room in a room full of metal bands, be party cannon. All right. Nick, it's nothing bad. It's just wrong. It's nothing bad. It's just wrong. Aw, Relu. You're always a wrongin' in my heart. How are you doing, friend? How are the puppers? Oh, Gideon. Yeah, we had a whole day of piss boiling on the deprofessionalization. I was talking about... Where was it? I'll have to go back and... There was an analytic company that said, like, this was the takeaway from Summer Games Fest, and they couldn't even separate Stellar Blade. Don't even get me started. Aw, Relu, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. And I guess virals is just... It's not... I guess it is my job, but like... it's my job to talk to you all about video games. But currently, I am not your paid advisor. You know, I am not your, strange specialist in the corner that you're giving very large sums of money, as those analytic companies take, to, like, help you navigate the waters, right? Like, we are on a ship together, and we kind of bimble, and it gets a bit weird. We have a good time. But if I was your paid navigator to charter your ship across the waves, and I don't know my shit from my fuck, and then I make an article about not knowing my shit from my fuck, I think it's okay to start critiquing, right? Like, if Davey YouTuber wants to talk about the state of games industry stuff, I'm not going to get mad. He doesn't know his arse from his elbow. That's fine. But when your job is analytics company, I think at that point I'm allowed to critique. Yeah, what do the stars have to do with navigation? But no, Summer Games Fest was powerful. And there have been a few indie studios who've been talking openly about what their experiences from it. And as much as... See, the problem was, like, there was a... Hang on, let me see if I re-skeeted it. No, that's threshold. Oh, here we go. So forgive that it's a blue sky skeet. Oh, here we go. Copy link to post. But the team behind Winnie's Hole, the Slay the Spire, but it's parasitic mutations in Winnie the Pooh, did a really good thread. So forgive the link. I highly recommend having a look at that because they did Summer Games Fest and then Steam Next Fest and tracked and charted it. So there's some interesting information that I read there. But because they did a lot to do it, they did a lot to be part of the Summer Games Fest ecosystem, and then that fed into Next Fest. The difficult thing was we don't have any data from anybody that fucking stacked it, that went in on Games Fest and everyone went, ugh. Aside from Slipgate, right? And this is where it can be tricky to try and, like, reverse engineer the games that sunk to the bottom. See, Steam Next Fest, its listings are predominantly based on what was successful and what was being played. So there was a few things in the... Hang on, I can just show you. Steam put up, like, the top 50 demos, which is also kind of useful. So... there was a few in here that already had a following, like Jump Ship and Stuff like Solo Leveling, which is based on a successful franchise. Like, love it or loathe it. Now, things like I'm Not a Human, a horror game about identifying, like, body snatcher type creatures, that did very well in Next Fest and did feature in the PC Games showcase, at least one of them. Escape from Duckov. That's what it says on the tin. I do not know why UFL was one of the demos that succeeded there. Ball X Pit was Devolver's entire marketing budget. I'm not pissed at Devolver's video, right? I'm a little mad because I've always been a fan of Devolver, and their showcase or their fake press conference was always one of my favorite parts of like E3, not E3, and then Summer Games Fest. And them just only promoting Ball X Pit and none of their other games. It's kind of grumpy. But Ball X Pit, big money behind it, really good game, really good demo. Like, I would not be surprised if their like wish list has gone like fucking straight up a cliff. And then stuff like Starbirds. I don't know why Starbirds has succeeded. Dispatch is understandable. Backseat Drivers, understandable. Same with Ratatan. And Clover Pit already had a huge following, thanks to like YouTubian nonsense. Ferocious was one that came out of nowhere. Just Dino Survival FPS. Hell Is Us also, but Hell Is Us has had a big push in the past. Beeple Bees, what home welcome. Starbirds apparently also YouTubian nonsense. Okay. See, and this is where our discussions are so valuable, is because we can work out where these things have come from, right? I'm just trying to see if there's a... I almost moused over that one. Shout out, I guess, to Femboy Footer House. Apparently that demo was so successful it made it into the top 50. Out of how many, like, 100,000 games were in Next Fest? All right. Box Bakery makes sense. Macabre makes sense. Voyages of Nero was the one that was really good until I saw the shark and freaked out, and co-op rooms. On wish list. Wait, is that on wish list? All right. Well, there we go. I don't know why it's on wishlist, but there we go. God. See, I can't even bring it up because it's not safe for Twitch. Is it that it's using AI art and I went to hit ignore and I hit wishlist? Anyway, Baby Steps is also another mimetic one and stuff like that, but... Friends, if I had genuinely wishlisted straight up porn on here, I don't think I would have sat there and highlighted it with such a... Ugh. Yeah, apparently I'm a massive pervert. There we go. Anyway. We do have info on what were the top 50 demos. Steam Next Fest has basically kind of like the rocks sink and the bangers do drift up to the surface, which is why I was telling you all that ignoring games, especially AI games, is incredibly powerful in Next Fest. All right. Look. I have talked to you all about Butt Night. I have talked to you all about Castle Succubus. If I am going to be all about fucking porn games, I'm gonna own that shit. Gooner Simulator, coming this year, alright? But I own my shit, okay? Oh, C222. The fact that it's not called Guna or Later. Oh yeah, no, numbers. It is a quasi-idle game coming out later this year. It has exceptionally good marketing. I sat down with the person who's making it at GDC. We had Banh Mi, and they went through their whole like marketing strat and how they do it. And it's fascinating because like if you take the smart element out of it, I mean essentially click holding plus plus. But the interesting thing about it is, while click holding is an incredibly Zalaverian project, I mean, it's peak Strange Scaffold. What's interesting with Guna Simulator is that it doesn't have a pre-existing following. And the person behind it has used a very similar marketing strategy to Zalavir in terms of that, like, TikTok embraced the zaniness. And it's worked really, really well. It was just, I looked into it because it was a fascinating case study in, can you reproduce a certain kind of marketing in a controlled environment and make it work? I mean, Hookshot, I don't understand TikTok. I just like being there. Oh, did I say Guna Simulator instead of Gooning Simulator? My apologies. Yeah. Wait, no. No, that's a different game. That's a very different game. Utterly horrifying. Anyway, what was I trying to say before I sidetracked my entire nonsense? Okay, I think that's as much as I have in the brain tank. Anyway, Summer Games Fest good, Next Fest good, stressful to cover, an absolute deluge of games, and rising above the noise, more important than ever. Actually, C222, if you put out like Guna fishing game, you'd make stupid money. There is an absolutely dogshit fishing horror game that I believe the demo dropped. Oh my god, Blessed Burden and Crown Gambit dropped already? There's too many games! Oh, sorry. A game I can show you. So this dropped today. This is Blessed Burden. An action horror first-person platformer. And it looks fucking brilliant. No, yeah, Rebel. Dredge is fine. But someone made a co-op horror fishing game. And it's bad. It's really bad. But there's a hunger for the concept. So, like, people are jumping at good fishing games. And BeagleBees, so long as you support the actual one that my industry friendo is working on, then that's fine. Because the other one looks like absolute budget, like, first-gen Newgrounds Doom clone. I can't wait for this to give me carpal tunnel. And I'm going to thank it. Yeah, another PS1 ass game. Compliment. Okay. So, I'm going to say my thank yous. Hang on. Nick, hopefully they're paying you good, because you deserve the big bucks, my friend. Hang on, let me just... Alright. I have gone through a fucking roller coaster these last few weeks. Alright? I went from, like, serious personal drama nonsense to Summer Games Fest to Steam Next Fest to divorcing the tooth, which is still ongoing. It has been fucking crazy. Alright? But you lot have been there for me the entire time. You have put up with me being late and weird with broken schedules and fucking nonsense and all of the above.
Get yourself a burger or something.
I can't eat burgers. I won't be able to eat a burger for 2 weeks. I'll have some soft noodles. Short skirt and a long ship. Fucking. God damn it, C222. These last few weeks have been like pulling teeth, am I right? Why you like this? What if you blend a burger and a drink like a vile shake? And get some soft fries or something. I did actually get good soup. I got good soup and fresh bread today. That was my spend. But no, seriously, like, I don't take any of this shit for granted. Ehrman threw in a red bit today earlier, and the only reason I'm not crying and throwing up is because if I start crying, it's gonna be that ugly. It's gonna be that ugly style. I can't open that floodgate today. But
Get yourself a burger and blender.
you're all horrors. Thank you. Look, I'm just trying to say, I fucking love doing this. I hope you know this by now. And you lot have supported me above and beyond the likes of which I ever could have expected. I never would have asked. Like, those of you that kept me calm when I was freaking the fuck out over the weekend of like, do I need to go to like fucking A&E for this shit? And those of you who've just been like, hey, like, numbers, like, if the amount of you that have said like, hey, if you just need like an extra hand helping with stuff, like, I'm there. Knowing that I have you lot is the fucking best. So, seriously, thank you all. I'm doing my best not to go hard. I'm trying to fight my instincts to stream for another 6 hours to make up for all that you do. So, seriously, thank you. Alright? And before I roll credits, like, I really do want to start doing some more stuff where we all get to hang out in the real. When I had my little meltdown a couple Fridays ago, we checked out the local art walk. I'd love to take you around that. Like, it was really cool. There was so much fun stuff. It's kind of like a little drinking style, like, artist's alley walk. So, I don't know, in one of the upcoming Fridays, I'll see if you'll want to sneak out of work early and come join me. We'll do like a little art tour. It'd be great. And we can help out some local artists and get drunk in the process. Ah, Salem, we're going to have a dive kick day. We'll have like a dive kick tournament. You know, I've got all of this space I can now finally do stuff with. I can't wait. I never want anyone to think that I'm not aware of how lucky I am, of how exceptional you all are, and I never want you all to think I take it for granted anyway. Okay, so thank you. Thank you. Okay. Well, I still have the semblance of my my decorum. I do need to say a thank you to, even though I've only been here for like 3 hours. Oh, Sabin, way cool. And Lance, you know I'm gonna. So to Mikey and Rewind Design, thank you both for the follows. As we creep towards more ridiculous numbers. We're at 5111 right now. To Scotty and Wallosaurus, thank you. Neither of those were short sub sprees. I hope I said thank you when they happened, because I was a bit snowblind at the start. to Eriman, Very Doubtful Guest, Akira Zero, Scotty Doggy, Divershi, Vanderbeast, Some Numbers, Simple Chaos, J-Post, Shitara, and Wolfcrad. That's a whole bunch of fucking money you threw in on top of everything else that you all have been doing. You absolute fucking legends. Thank you to the entire moderation team, not just Caffeine, but Moose, Tal, Nova. You lot have dealt with a lot of things, because I was so... Shush you. J-Post, thank you. I was so nervous beforehand and then groggy after. I didn't tell the mods that Littlefire was going to be playing the part of Premium Will on stream. So they got the same surprise you all got. And they still rolled with it and were fucking brilliant. And lastly, thank you to British Jen, who brought a huge raid on in. Like, I really appreciate that. Okay? And Gideon, like, it's exhaustion of the jaw right now. It's not pain of the, oh fuck, I can't even think variety. Now, let's see who we've got to go hang with. Because I am still avoiding spoilers for Expedition 33. Is anyone here avoiding spoilers for Hades 2? And Legend, have a lovely rest of your evening. Tomorrow, okay, touch wood. Tomorrow, energy levels willing, it should be my dumbass followed by Night Rain with Sauron and Virals, but we'll see how I'm doing. Okay. Okay. For spoiler-free flavored nonsense, I can offer you... Oh, Dice just wanted to remind everybody that it's free RPG day on Saturday. Dice, tomorrow you can tell me the details, because there's definitely a few local game stores that I might be able to hit up Seattle way. Right. I can offer you, in a non-spoilery way, Doom 2, Metal Gear Solid 3, or Hunt Showdown. Fearless would like MGS3. All right. Now this is a bigger stream than we usually raid into, but it's Lawrence's stream. And Lawrence's partner is a very, very, very good friend of mine. An industry legend, no less. And so I don't know which variation of Metal Gear Solid 3 this is. It looks like the HD remake, as in the one that was on the 360 and the PS3, but it could be the one that's on Steam. I don't know. So we'll just have to find out together. And yeah, that's it from me this evening, friends. Like, thank you for hanging out. The conversation was lovely. You were all lovely. Like, seriously, thank you. You're right, Verdant Flow, you weren't lovely, you were an absolute terror. An absolute terror. Can't believe you've done this. Got real get cared for and supported on nerd vibes. And I'm going to, friends, I'm going to. I'm just glad to hang out. It's only been a couple of days and I already missed you lot. I don't know. I'm a big fucking nerd.